MSB here, and it's time for some more MSBVP. Today we'll be in the game Hearthstone, and we'll be running through a few more matches with the budget priest deck that I previewed earlier in the week, so let's get started. So the budget priest deck is all about pushing to endgame, maintaining a board presence or board position, and then using cards like Mind Vision, Thought Steal, and Mind Control to either overwhelm the board position or reclaim the board position, or just win outright, depending on what you manage to pick up. Because it is dependent on pulling other people's cards, there is some innate knowledge that you need to have of each class and how the mechanics work and what the best ways to use those cards are. So let's see what we got. Okay, I like the Holy Nova. Actually, since I'm going second, I don't have to worry about coin to defy us. So what do I want to do here? I think I'll kick back the Ventrico Mercenary. Perfect. I'll kick back the Ventrico Mercenary because I'll use Holy Nova to restabilize if I lose control of the board. Greetings. And what I'll look to do is, oh well, hey, how you doing, Ventrico Mercenary? Not bad at all. I don't mind that. Okay, and a Shadow Step. That's pretty cool.
Mistakes were made.
I guess.
I can taste
Okay,
the
Mana
mana.
Addict. That's okay. Yep, we'll just throw out the Faerie Dragon. Because it's fine if he casts a spell, he can't target it. I mean, he could silence it. But that'd be a great silence, because I'd much rather have him use silence on my Faerie Dragon than on my Harvest Golem. Okay. And then what, trade? That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't mind that at all. Yeah, let's throw out something. Let's do a Harvest Golem. And then next turn would be like a Ventrico Mercenary, I suppose. Get that Assassinate out of his hand. I'm sure he's got one. The reason why you pull out cards like Assassinates at this point is because he's going to use them, and what you want to make sure that you're doing is you want to make sure that he's using all of his mana in a turn to do something that doesn't affect the board position in his favor immediately. Obviously, removing a Ventrico Mercenary is positively affecting the board position overall, but you're still, I've still got control of it. This is great. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with this. You wanna know why? I'm just gonna pull this right back. And then I'm going to play out a heal and recast him. So that way he's not damaged at all. I don't really have, I could have saved it for like a Temple Enforcer, but really I want to keep this with full health because he specifically casted a 4/4 and then did nothing else. So that means that he had the capability to do 2 damage, so probably another Eviscerate or something in his hand. So I just, I wanted to re-heal this Ventrico Mercenary just to make sure that, that he didn't have any, so that he didn't have any options in that regard. Okay. That's fine. I am happy to just Thought Steal. Double Shiv. That's hilarious. I'm going to keep my Double Shiv, and instead I'm just going to rush in and do some big damage. That's the other reason, because if he doesn't have an Assassinate, you pressure with something like the Ventrico Mercenary, which is an early pressure, but that you don't want hanging around forever. You don't, because obviously this is making it very difficult to play out like my Temple Enforcer or any other creatures. So the Ventrico Mercenary is in there to test the water for kill cards. And then if they don't have them, oh my god, that's terrible. Okay. And then Van Cleave again. Okay, that's legit. This is a legit strategy. Okay, so now he's a 10-10. Okay. That's fine. Shadow Word Death would be great, obviously. If I could get a Shadow Word Death for Van Cleef, that would be fantastic. I'm not too concerned. Let's see. Okay, so I've got to save my Acidic Swamp Ooze. I am going to Holy Nova. 8. I will throw out this and bash up against Van Cleef. And next turn, if he doesn't do anything else, I'll be able to kill him with... Well, no, I won't if he takes out my my Harvest Golem. So we'll see. So I'll take the 10. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, redagger. Good. Perfect. Perfect. See, what he doesn't know is that I took 2 of his shivs. So he's going down. And a shiv. Yep. And now I've got some prevention from that. And heal myself back up. And now I've got a big Lightspawn on the field. So obviously another good target for an Assassinate, if you wanted. I'd be looking to, like Divine Spirited or something. Another. Okay, well, if he gets too crazy, I don't care, because either I'm going to take him out with a Shadow Word Pain and a Leroy Jenkins. This guy has some crazy cards. Look at this nonsense. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to do 1 and Shiv. Get another Holy Nova. We are going to... what can I do? 6, 7, 8. Okay, so he's... Of course, he's right in between all of my attacks, so I'm just going to power up and kill it off. And he gives up. You should have stayed in it, buddy. You know, if you had a couple of different cards, you could have had a chance. So obviously, perfect example of where this priest deck shines. Even when you lose control a little bit to decks that have ridiculously superior card pool. I mean, Van Cleef, 2 Questing Adventurers, Leroy Jenkins. I'm sure he had a ton more in his deck, because that was a very well-oiled deck that got off its big combo. But because the priest can steal cards, I mean, imagine if I had gotten a Mind Control and pulled his Van Cleef. Then it's like, oh great, now you've got 1 card in hand, and I have your 10/10 Van Cleef. Now I'll just win the game with it. So even in the absence of those, and even in the absence of focused rush, you still have tons of tools to be able to stave off a rush, get control of a board position, no matter how dire at times it seems to be, and then have massive card advantage. You just have to be patient with what you play and when you play it. And then, of course, when you play something like Thoughtsteal, know the best ways to use those cards to your advantage. Of course, excellent. The budget priest deck has no rares, epics, or legendaries. Okay, against a mage. So the scariest part about a mage is the first turn. If they drop a Mono Worm and then also have an Arcane Missiles in hand, that can be a very dangerous position to recover from. So I'll Acidic Swamp Ooze, that's great because it's a 3/2, and a Northshire Cleric. I'll play out that Northshire Cleric, actually. I want to have something on the board in case he has that prime situation. Because if he's got a Mono Worm in hand and an Arcane Missiles, then at least having the Northshire Cleric on the table makes the Acidic Swamp Ooze... oh, excellent. Okay, yes, please, thank you. That's great. Now I've got a great 1-2 punch. I don't want to overextend my board position because 2 mana, 5 mana, 7 mana. So 2 is Arcane Explosion, 5 is Blizzard, 7 is Flame Strike. And you've really got to make sure that at each of those breakpoints, your board isn't overcommitted, because otherwise that gets very dangerous. Okay, now what I will do, because it's early, I am going to throw out a Harvest Golem. This should be sufficient until he plays something, and this is significant enough threats to deal with a variance of attacks. Okay, so he's coining for 4, so that's not a Blizzard. For a Water Elemental. Okay. Okay, and unfortunately, it would have been great if I had a Shadow Word Pain. So next turn, he's going back to 4. Okay, so here's what I'm going to have to do. I am going to...
I must consider.
I'm going to kick out my Lightspawn. And then I'm just going to attack into him, because I want him to use his turn to attack something of mine. I've got a couple good threats that he could attack. I'm expecting a Fireball. Maybe against my Lightspawn. That'd be great. Always pulling out a Fireball from your opponent's hand that hits you, that hits a creature and not you, is great. Because the deadliest thing is if they get out a couple of minions with spell damage, and if they have 2 Fireballs and a Pyroblast in their hand, it is game over. There's nothing that you can do. So anytime you see a mage attack your minion with a Fireball, it's great. It's perfect. Okay, now what you got? You got Fireball. Yep. Okay. So next mana at 5 is, of course, the breakpoint. So what are we going to do? We're going to kill off his Water Elemental and leave my guy here. And then we're going to... Most likely he's got a Blizzard in hand. So I'm going to throw out my other Golem. And we'll leave it at that. So if he throws out something that has a 5 attack, I'll probably Shadow Word Death it. This could draw out a Silence. This could draw out a lot of things. Let's see what he does. What you got? See, that was sort of the slow play option. The other option was to throw out the Ventricle Mercenary and probably try to bait out a Polymorph. There's the Monoworm. You probably had that in hand right at the start. And the Arcane Missile. Yep, see, there it is. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Thank you for hitting me all 3 times. And an Arcane Explosion. Yep. And another Arcane Missile. See, he had... Mages always have that. They always have that very tricksy, huge opening hand. That's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to bait out the... we're going to bait out the Polymorph. As soon as this hits 5 attack, we'll Shadow Word Death it. Unless he doesn't have a Polymorph. I can't imagine he doesn't have a Polymorph in hand. So it's either Blizzard or Polymorph at this point. He's either going to freeze the guy in place, or it could be a Cone of Cold. He could just freeze it until he's got something to deal with it. There's just, you know, so many options that it's... Or another Fireball. I wouldn't mind that. If he throws another Fireball on him. Okay. Maybe a Mirror Image? And another one. Okay, so he's dumping a lot of resources into this, which is great, because I'm going to kill it next turn. He's got no more mana. So, Vaporize, Mirror Image, Ice Block, Counterspell. Okay, then it's a Mirror Image or a Counterspell. We'll test the Vaporize. We'll throw out an Acidic Swamp Ooze. Who cares? And it's not a Vaporize. Okay, so it is going to be a Counterspell and a Mirror Image. So what would I rather him have? A 1/7 Taunt or a 3/2 Swamp Ooze? That's a great question. I'd rather him have a 1/7 taunt. Yep, go ahead and copy it. Okay, and now... Okay, I'm going to throw out the Acidic Swamp Ooze. He may Blizzard at this point, and that would still be okay. I'd be alright with that. It's just imperative not to give him the more offensive of the two creatures, because, you know, I've got spells to heal up. Okay. So the next one's got to be a counter spell, so that means that either my Holy Nova or my Shadow Word Death will be taken out. Okay, got another turn. Perfect. Okay, so we'll play that. 3, 4. Heal this back up, so that way it's not bait. And let's go ahead and kill that off. So it's down to 1, and I'll leave that there, to be honest. This is a dangerous position. I don't want to use up my Holy Nova. Obviously, I don't want to use my Mind Control. So I'm going to have to sort of make a sacrifice play with one of my spells to trigger that that counterspell trap. Let's see. So ideally, I suppose, ideally being, you know, sort of a bad word to use, but triggering the counterspell with the Shadow Word Death is probably the best, because then the following turn I can mind control whatever it is.
Are you ready for this?
Okay. 4, 5, 6. He could break through and kill everything. Okay. 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 Hit me for 1. That's fine. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a target for Shadow Word Death, which is really unfortunate. Okay. So unfortunately, that secret is preventing me quite a bit. Okay, so here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to attack, and I'm going to have to heal, so I can draw a card. Then I'm going to kill. I can't afford... Well, I could... Yeah. Here's what I'll do. Then I'll silence. He'll counter it. Oh, okay. I've never... Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now he's got a 1/3 on the field, and that's okay. Because now that that's done, he'll take out... He'll use this to take out my Ooze. He'll use this to take out my Northshire Cleric. Okay, or not. Okay, yep, so then that's a 4, 6, 3, 2. Okay, so everything on the board. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this. Yoink. That's sort of the best option that I have. And you'd have to expend, well, depending on what he drew. Okay, 5 damage. And takes it out with that. Okay, that's fine. 3, 4. Okay, yep. So he's still drawing. I'm still not too concerned. Because he hasn't drawn another minion. Let's grab this. And heal it up. And what I'm doing, the reason why I'm using my mind control on these is because they've got a 4 attack, A, and B, they've got spell damage. And that's what I really want to remove. I want to get rid of his spell damage because that's what's so crushing at this point. So if he plays something like a, you know, like a legendary, I should be able to Shadow Word Death it. Let's see what he's got from those cards. It was a risky mind control, but at the same time I needed to remove his board position. Okay, so that's probably another counter, perhaps? 2, 2, and 2. Okay, that's fine. So this one is probably a mirror image, which I'm fine with, because here's what I'm going to do with that mirror image. Shoop. Mirror image. And of course. Yes, so that was one that I could easily counter. Now, what did he draw? Let's see. Polymorph would be legit. A legendary. Flame Strike, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Oh, good. Thoughtsteal. Perfect time to showcase what this deck is meant to do. Okay, so... 4... I don't want to play out more than this at this point, because he could have another Flame Strike in hand, as unlikely as that would be, but... Okay. Mirror image? That's perfect. That's fine. That is fine, because I will Dalaran Mage and then Holy Nova. So he's like, oh yes, I got this! And I'm like, I don't care, I've got Holy Nova. So this is sort of a great example where I have pulled cards that help me to stabilize a board position. Because that was able to heal me for 3 instead of 2. I got a 4/4 that made him use cards. You know, and I got a 1/4, which is what I actually wanted to keep on the board. And then I'll probably Temple Enforcer it. And then I've got a Shadow Word Pain and a Shadow Word Death. So this could be an... I think both of his... I think this is another counterspell or another of those retarget.
Vaporization commencing.
Okay, so it's not ideal, but I'll double his health. Okay.
I'll take that.
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
Vaporization
Because what I needed was to make sure that these actually hit the targets that I intended.
Vaporization commencing.
Yeah, so I don't mind a 1/6. It just doesn't bother me at all. I needed to make sure that these went through. Okay. Fireball for 7, and unfortunately that's a bit difficult to contend with. That was a mistake. Okay. And at this point, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, he's fine with, you know, killing the 4/1 and the 6/6. He's used both of his fireballs. He's used 1 Frostbolt. He's used both of his arcane missiles. Yep, I'm happy with this. I am perfectly happy with it. I've got to save my Shadow Word Pain. Oh, perfect. See, another perfect time for a Thoughtsteal. Oh, and look what I have, sir. I will Mono Worm, and now, yes, I will cast this. Thank you. You know, hey, Mono Worms are pretty good. Why don't priests have those in their deck? Because they'd be overpowered in a priest deck. And that's one of the best parts about Thoughtsteal, is now I get to use Mono Worms. And Flame Strike. And now I've got a Shadow Word Death to kill anything 2 nuts. Both of his Ogre Magi's are gone. Okay. Water Elemental. Boom. So this is going to do 5. And we're going to use his trick. Kill that off. Attack into that. Play out a Faerie Dragon.
Job's done.
Because we want to finish this off. Next turn. He could Blizzard. And that would be a major reduction in my board position.
Are you ready for this?
That's fine.
You win.
Yep. Okay, so again, another great example where the Thought Steals actually facilitated my ability to finish off that game, even though I had played out a lot of my deck's big threats. The Ventrico Mercenaries, the Temple Guardians. I was using Thought Steals to procure cards from his deck and then use those to my advantage. So, another perfect example where this priest deck can really turn the tides against someone who has, who's used up a lot of their defensive options, because then you either get those defensive options yourself, like the Flame Strike, or you start pulling great creature cards. I mean, imagine instead of the Mono Worm, if I had pulled one of the Frost Elementals, that would have been perfect. I've been like, yes, please, I'll throw out a 3/6 and buff it up. So, excellent. Mirror match. Ugh. Oh, well, this is actually a pretty good start. Okay, so I'm gonna kick back the Mind Control. I love the Shadowed Pain, I like the Mind Vision, and I like the Harvest Golem. So the Shadowed Pain is gonna be fantastic if he throws out a first turn. Northshire Cleric, and then I'll probably be looking to coin it to Harvest Golem. You know what? I just changed my mind. I'm going to Faerie Dragon, because that's a great card to bring out first, especially when you've got a Shadowed Pain to back it up. That can be a nightmare for a priest or a mage or a warlock to deal with. Hey, thanks.
Thank you.
Didn't have anything else to do, apparently. Okay, so we will attack in, and then let's Mind Vision. See what he's got in that hot little hand of his. Thought Steal. Okay, so now I'm going to have 3 Thought Steals in this game. That was actually pretty good. Thought Steal? Oh, I love him using Thought Steal here because I can really improve my board position. The only thing I really have to fear here is him Holy Nova-ing at 5, but I would love it if he Holy Novas at 5, because then that's his full turn's cost, and if you use that offensively, that's excellent.
Your magic shall not save you.
Okay. My magic shall not save me. That's fine. And because it's a 4 attack, I'm happy to trade here. And what are we going to do? Since he's put out 1 silence, he could be reasonably certain. Okay, no, I'm just going to Thought Steal. I will, however, Power Word Shield him. Because that's going to be a real budget pull for a silence, because what I'd rather do is him use up those silences, so that way my Lightspawn doesn't get them. That's fine. And I wanted to draw a card, so...
Is someone injured?
Okay, yeah, that's obviously Shadowed Pain. Going down on this dude. Bam! See ya. Okay, and we don't really have anything to do here. We've kind of lost control of the board. I don't want him to use anything on that, so I'll just heal myself. Looking to probably Ventrico Mercenary. I don't have any 4 attack minions that I can, if I drew one of my Yetis, I'd be happy to throw out one of my Yetis. Yeah. Tons of cards changing hands. It's all the same. All the same. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll throw out a Lightspawn. I will Mind Vision to pull another card into my hand. Okay, Holy Nova. That's actually good to have 2 Holy Novas on hand. And what this does is it'll set up a Shadow Word Death. Great, because this is the real threat. Or a Lightspawn with Divine Spirit and a Temple Enforcer becomes ridiculous. So next what I'll do is I'll throw out this. And if he throws out another... Now, he could have more than 2 Shadow Word Deaths, because he's had 2 Thought Steals. So he could have another Shadow Word... He could have 3 Shadow Word Death. I'm actually perfectly fine with this. The reason why I'm perfectly fine with this is because I am definitely going to be using this up. Yep. And then let's Thought Steal. Let's trade some more cards. And because I have nothing else to use my mana on, I'll heal him. And if, at this point, if this drew out the other Shadow Word Death, I'm still fine with that. Mind control. Okay. Yep, and Shadow Word Death. Throw out one of these. And heal myself. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a mind control in hand, which is unfortunate. But because this is priest versus priest, you can't count spells because you have no clue what 4 cards he got from me. So he could have 5.
Ready, sir.
He could have 5 mind controls, for example. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's silence that off. Then we're gonna trade and Holy Nova to kill the other one and heal. 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to make this a 4/4 with taunt. Not the optimal usage of the defender, but at least that saves him from a Shadow Word Death or a Shadow Word Pain. Whoa, okay. Double Holy Nova is fine by me. Okay, so now I can go aggressive. See, here's where it becomes problematic, because optimally I would Lightspawn and Temple Enforcer. I do have a mind control to back it up, but he could have more than one mind control. I can't second guess myself this much in priest versus priest match. So let's play this out. He could either Shadow Word Death it, or he could mind control it. At which point I'd mind control it back and hope he can't mind control it again. This is still a threat. Okay, that's fine. I'm definitely looking to get rid of that Lightspawn, because you could still inner fire it and make it dangerous. Which I'm guessing he has. Okay, but that's alright. 6/6. Do I want to mind control his 6/6 or do I want to Shadow Word Death it? I want to Shadow Word Death it because I'd like to improve my own board position. And if he buffs this up to an amazing amount, I'm fine with that. Because I will mind control it. And it will take cards out of his hand, which is what's really important. So let's see.
My shield for Argus.
Okay. Definitely willing to Shadow Word Pain that. Yeah, I'll Shadow Word Pain that. So, it doesn't appear that he has anything else tricky to use with that. So, Shadow Word Pain that off. And then we will strike in for 6 and heal up my Yeti. Saving my well, now 3 Holy Novas, but this is the exact problem. You can't count cards when Thoughtsteals are running around in a priest versus priest match. And this is another perfect example of how this priest deck is fantastic, because yes, please, I would very much like an 8/8 that grows. Exactly. You know, an opponent plays out a crazy card like Groll, and it just doesn't matter. The perfect example of you know, the mirror match, where he obviously had some better cards than I did, and I can just use those to my advantage. And then you just slowly and methodically build up that board position, and just keep trading off healing minions, making sure that you're stabilizing it. And then once you do, your mind controls, your Thoughtsteals are just going to absolutely destroy the opponent's will to continue on. Fantastic. So hopefully this second look at the budget priest deck gives you a better understanding of how to utilize that deck to complete your dailies quicker and to make sure that you aren't hung up against those decks that have the rares, epics, and legendaries that are very powerful. Obviously, if there are any other videos or decks that you'd like to see, please take the time to leave a comment in the section below. And, of course, if you like the content, please take the time to subscribe. As always, I'm MSB, wishing you good games and good times.